Since the year 2000, the NFL has only had 4 running backs take home the MVP award. The 4 backs are Marshall Faulk, Shaun Alexander, LaDainian Tomlinson, and the most recent was Adrian Peterson in 2012. But since the year 2012, it has been a quarterback-only club, as no other position has won the award, as quarterbacks have dominated the MVP award. Although many running backs have come close, with Christian McCaffrey in 2023, and Saquon Barkley's electric season in 2024, rushing for over 2,000 yards and 15 touchdowns. But while 10 weeks into the 2025 NFL season, and after a walk-off touchdown to secure the win for the Colts in Week 10 against the Falcons, Jonathan Taylor is looking to end the running back MVP drought while running the Colts into the playoffs and possibly a first-round bye. Throughout this season so far, Taylor has been, if not one of the most feared players in the league. Opposing players, fans, and even fantasy players fear this man. And after his dominant recent performance in Berlin, it has become clear that Jonathan Taylor is not only the best running back in the league, but is also making a strong case for the most valuable player in the league too. Not only have the Colts relied on Taylor throughout this season, as he's a huge part of the game plan, but it was shown in the game against Atlanta for everyone to see, if you were up on the West Coast, that in a tough game, when they were trailing in the fourth, to still feed him the ball as he finished the game with 32 carries. On the Colts' first drive of overtime, with the chance to end the game with any score, and after a 23-yard pass to Tyler Warren from Daniel Jones, the Colts ran the ball 5 straight times from the Atlanta 33-yard line, and after the third run, everyone watching just knew Taylor was going to get the ball until they reached the end zone. That even a layup of a field goal was more risky than giving the ball to Taylor. However, with the firepower the Colts possess, it makes it hard for the defense to overcommit, as this team could beat you in both ways. But with the game on the line, and after a tough loss to the Steelers, Jonathan Taylor came out and played his best game of the season. And when the team needed him most, he found the end zone on an 8-yard run to secure the win for the Colts, improving to 8-2 on the year. Through the first 10 weeks, Taylor is leading the league in rushing yards with 1,139 yards and 17 total touchdowns so far. The next closest skill position players are Josh Jacobs with 11 and Jahmyr Gibbs with 10 total touchdowns on the season. Taylor has now scored 3 total touchdowns in 5 out of his 10 games this season. One of them happened to be a tough watch for me, as I had to watch him dance into the end zone 3 times against my favorite team. Now I could go on and on with the numbers and on why I think he deserves to win the MVP this year, but it's so much more than just the stats. The style of play that Taylor plays with is what makes him a top-tier running back in the league. I mean, we saw it firsthand on the last play of the game against the Falcons, when he left Pro Bowl safety Jesse Bates on flat feet for a second, as Taylor hit a quick juke to the left and went untouched to the end zone, while receiving great blocks from his O-line. It's no secret that with Daniel Jones under center, this Colts offense is among one of the top in the league. Jones and Taylor make each other's jobs easier, as the run game complements the passing game and allows this Colts offense to beat teams through the air and ground. But with Taylor in the backfield, he elevates this team to reach their full potential, as he's the most valuable piece on the best team in the league right now so far in 2025. Taylor is versatile enough to make the game-changing play at any moment he touches the ball. Even when he doesn't touch the ball, he still makes a difference, almost similar to what Steph Curry does for the Warriors. But in this case, the play action helps Jones spread the ball downfield to other key players on the team such as Tyler Warren, Michael Pittman Jr., and Alec Pierce. And I also want to give credit to the most important group on this offense, which includes the 5 guys on the offensive line, as they make all of this happen in the first place. When you watch a lot of these highlights, you'll notice Taylor will sometimes go untouched through the first 10 yards at times, as the O-line does an excellent job clearing openings for Taylor to maneuver around. Now, even though I believe Taylor is an MVP frontrunner at the moment, he is still facing some tough competition, as he's not running away with it yet. Guys like Sam Darnold, Patrick Mahomes, Drake Maye, Matthew Stafford, Jared Goff, and even Jackson Smith-Njigba all have strong cases to win the award if they keep their play up as well. As of now, while recording this video, the current top 5 MVP favorites at the moment, according to the FanDuel Sportbooks, are Drake Maye, Matthew Stafford, Jonathan Taylor, Patrick Mahomes, and Josh Allen. Now I understand that right now these weeks players can rise and fall with each performance, like just last week, before week 10 started, Josh Allen was the favorite to win MVP, but after a surprising loss to the Dolphins, where he committed 2 turnovers, he dropped all the way down to 5th. The 2 quarterbacks in front of Taylor at the moment are Drake Maye and Matthew Stafford. Now in his second year, Maye has the New England Patriots first in the AFC East, while on a 7-game winning streak. Now compared to the other MVP candidate quarterbacks, Drake Maye doesn't have exactly the flashiest names surrounding him, such as Matthew Stafford, Mahomes, or even Sam Darnold, but Maye still finds ways to lead his team to victory while developing chemistry with newly acquired wide receiver Stephon Diggs and third-year wide receiver Kayshon Boutte. Now, someone who hasn't really been mentioned too much until recently is Matthew Stafford. And at the age of 37, he is still playing at an elite level. It might be having his best season yet. Now, Stafford is surrounded by talent on the Rams offense, as he's made sure to take full advantage of it through the first 10 weeks. The 25 touchdowns are impressive alone, but with only 3 total turnovers on the season so far, Stafford has the Rams offense operating at a highly effective level while keeping the ball away from opposing defenses. Now I can see why the MVP has been a quarterback-dominated award in the NFL, with the quarterbacks being the most important position on a team. It's the reason why so many of today's quarterbacks' contracts are structured the way they are compared to other positions on the team. Us fans can see a clear difference when a starting quarterback is out due to an injury and how much it impacts the team. It's the reason why backup quarterbacks are heavily invested in too. Now I don't want to steer too far off topic, as the video is about why running back deserves to win MVP, but I just wanted to provide the other side of the argument, as this MVP race may come down to the final weeks of the season. But as of this season so far, the league's most valuable player so far in my opinion doesn't play quarterback. Instead, he plays in the backfield for the Indianapolis Colts. Jonathan Taylor has elevated this Colts team to another level when he's on the field, and it has led them to the top seed in the AFC so far. When you sit down and watch the Colts offense play, there's no doubt that they are skilled at nearly every position, but Taylor is the one who could dictate a game. Daniel Jones has stated that having Taylor in the backfield makes it easier for him as a quarterback, as this has been the most in sync he's felt in an offense in his career. Taylor could do it all as a running back. His speed, awareness, and toughness gives him the ability to turn any run into a home run, and even runs that seem like they're going to get stopped, he could turn them into big plays. Midway through the season, other members of the media are also advocating for Jonathan Taylor to be the favorite right now to win the MVP award. When Colts fans were asked what it would take for Taylor to win the award on Reddit, many users pointed out the kind of stats he would need to win. Many would reference the recent seasons of other backs, such as last year's 2,000-yard rushers in Saquon Barkley and Derrick Henry, on how even their impressive 2K seasons didn't even get them a single first-place vote. And when Christian McCaffrey had over 1,000 rushing and receiving yards in 2019, that didn't even earn him the Offensive Player of the Year award, as he finished third in that. But Taylor's total touchdowns are already at 17, while Barkley and Henry both finished last year with 15 and 18 in 2024. According to Preem Football, Jonathan Taylor's stats for a 17-game pace in 2025 is set at 321 carries, over 2,000 total yards from scrimmage, and just under 30 touchdowns. We'll see at the end of the season if Taylor's able to keep this pace up, as he has some tough defenses to face in the upcoming weeks, with the Colts playing the Chiefs in Week 12, playing the Houston defense twice in Week 13 and 18, and even against Seattle in Week 15, as that game could have huge implications in the MVP race in a matchup between Darnold and Taylor. But even if he were to keep this pace up and he still doesn't win MVP, it could be due to one of the quarterbacks listed earlier having a historical season. Maybe Taylor falls off the second half of the year, or maybe, as others have referenced, it may be time for a discussion on how these awards are judged, and if quarterbacks may need to have their own separate award as well. But I know at the end of the day, a lot of the players I listed earlier may see winning the MVP award as a huge accomplishment, but at the end of the day, would rather make a deep playoff run and get their team into the Super Bowl, rather than winning an individual award. We'll see how the rest of the season plays out, as we've seen a stretch of average game that could take any player out of the MVP race, as it has been close all year so far. In Week 11, the Colts have a bye, so the next time we'll see Taylor and the Colts in action will be in Week 12, in a highly anticipated matchup against the Kansas City Chiefs. We'll see how Taylor performs against an always tough coach Steve Spagnuolo defense, and if he's able to push himself toward the top of the MVP race with another dominant performance. But before I end this video, I just wanted to show you some of the comments from fantasy managers on Reddit that either had Jonathan Taylor on their team or faced him in their Week 11 matchups. It was an early game, so I'm sure some of the people on the West Coast didn't even get a chance to see the game and just woke up and saw nearly 50 points from Taylor, and probably decided to not check their matchup for the rest of the day. And a quick question for fantasy managers that have JT on their team. Is there anyone right now that you're willing to trade for him this season, unless it's a massive overpay? But whether you're a fan of the Colts, fantasy manager that has Taylor on their team, or even just a fan of the NFL, each week that the Colts play, you pay a bit more attention to your screen whenever Jonathan Taylor is on the field. Let me know what you think in the comments, and if this could be the year that the running back could actually win an MVP award, or if some of these other talented quarterbacks can pull away with it when it's all said and done. I just want to say thank you to everyone who's watching and made it this far into the video, and if you enjoyed the video and want to see more, feel free to hit the subscribe button, as I'll make more weekly NFL content throughout the season. and I hope you all have a great rest of your week.